Welcome to SVG-TV's news for Friday, March 28th, 2025. I'm Triska Campbell with the details. Minister of Tourism Carlos James made an appeal for Caribbean countries to work together in order to safeguard the tourism industry against the impacts of geopolitics. His remarks came as the 8th Council of Ministers for Tourism opened today at the Beachcombers Hotel. James told stakeholders that it is time to plan ahead as they brace for the potential impacts on tourism due to geopolitics and climate change.
That now more than ever, our regional bloc must begin the exercise of really initiating everything that the Commission has been working tirelessly year on year to actualize, to really put into focus the work of all of our respective member territories. We have to work closely with our regional airlines to have a more smooth and easier way of access and having people move across the region. We have to ensure that some of our policies and even our legislative framework are designed to allow for a better and easier way of doing business. So it's not about our bloc competing against each other, but collectively working in our interests as a region and as a bloc.
The minister urged leaders to push for CARICOM treaties to be enacted as a buffer against the predicted effects on the tourism industry.
But what we have to do now, in this moment and in this time, is to find the opportunities to have greater level of integration in trade, in sharing our space, both our seascape and landscape, collaborating like never before in many areas, including tourism. And there's a thing called domestic tourism, but also there's something called regional tourism. And that is where free movement and goods and services and people. And this has been the catalyst of what we have established at the OECS as a regional bloc. We see it on paper. We see it in our agreements that we have signed on to and ascribed to. But many of us, we talk. They talk. But it is now time more than ever for us to put everything that we have done on paper, in our treaties, in our policy frameworks regionally, to action them. Because what is ahead of us, the circumstances which are not of our own, will certainly determine whether or not our survival as a region and as a bloc is something that we have to collectively look at.
Meanwhile, Director General of the OECS, Dr. Didacus Jules, challenged tourism ministers and stakeholders to balance tourism development with sustainable policy decisions. He noted that since tourism is one of the major drivers of economies in the OECS, policy decisions must be continuously revised to reflect current and future challenges.
That plan, which was developed over a period of time, needs some degree of revisiting, because on a weekly basis now, the volatility that he spoke about in the geopolitics, in the economics, in the relations with our neighbors, in our what is happening in our source markets, require careful thinking, really careful and strategic revisiting. So tourism does not operate in isolation. Its success is deeply intertwined with other sectors, and collaboration is key. In agriculture, By linking agriculture and tourism, we can create unique culinary experiences that showcase local produce while supporting our farmers. Agritourism has been a success in countries like Costa Rica and Italy, and we can adapt these models to our own context. In health, public health remains a cornerstone of tourism. Renewing the MOU that we have with CAFA will ensure that we are prepared to manage health threats while maintaining visitor confidence.
Grenada's Minister of Tourism, Adrian Thomas, also emphasized the urgent need for policy action if OECS countries are to continue to prosper in the tourism sector.
Brothers and sisters, I sincerely believe that there is an urgent need for a well-defined and actionable sustainable tourism policy that cannot be overestimated. The global tourism industry is undertaking rapid transformation due to climate change, technological advancements, evolving travelers' preferences, and global economic shifts. Countries that proactively adopt these changes will not only safeguard the tourism sector, but also emerge as leaders in sustainable and responsible tourism. Brothers and sisters, comrades, the OECS cannot afford to be left behind. We cannot afford to fail our people that depend on us to guide them on the road to prosperity. Our policy must reflect a vision that aligns with international best practices, particularly the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals.
A number of local tourism stakeholders attended the meetings as they discussed sustainable ways of growing the tourism industry. Sandals St. Vincent and the Grenadines has received international recognition, securing a spot on Affair's Best New Hotels of 2025 list. The announcement was made on Thursday. The five-star resort at Buckaman Bay is celebrating its one-year anniversary of operation in SVG. Affair, a respected global travel authority, recognizes outstanding new hotels that offer world-class hospitality, exceptional guest experiences, and top-tier service. General Manager of Sandals SVG, Taman All, said they are beyond thrilled to receive the honor, especially on such a momentous occasion as they celebrate their first anniversary. He said the award is a testament to their team's dedication to providing an unparalleled experience for guests. He said they will continue to strive for excellence in every aspect of their service. As part of the recognition, Affair has provided Sandals St. Vincent with branding tools and marketing materials to promote the award. The official feature will go live on affair.com on April 3rd. In other news, following the first National Robotics Competition, Chief Executive Officer of the National Center for Technological Innovations, the NCTI, Petrus Gums, stated that they are pleased with the positive reviews from the participants, including judges. The CEO admitted that they were nervous for the students, who for the first time worked independently to develop software for robotics competition, and they aced it.
Just making a little bit of a history here. We're just having this event, having the first time. We were a little bit concerned at how the students, would function, having no support at all from anyone while working on this. Bearing in mind that this is a competition where the students just have their own team members, no teacher, no mentor, no support but themselves and the internet. This was designed so that the students can use resources around them to get their task complete. And the findings and what we saw on that day was nothing but mind-blowing. We had students from almost all the schools throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we saw the work that some students produce on that fly on the spot was of a very, very, very high quality. It was such a surprise that some of our judges mentioned that if they did not see our students coding at that level, they would have assumed that the student get assistance from adults somewhere if they did not see it with their own eyes. And this is the things that we want to see, and this is the environment that we want to promote and create for students throughout St. Vincent and Grenadines.
Gums noted that the results are not yet available as judges are still working on tabulating them, given that this is the first event of its kind in the country. He added that the results will be announced at a prize-giving ceremony scheduled for April 15, 2025.
I know students are anxious, are very anxious for the results. But this kind of undertaking for the very first time, we have to take time to look at the data, analyze the work for the students and everything like that, to give a comprehensive feedback. So we are hoping that the students can be patient with us, the community, the public can be patient with us, so that we give a comprehensive finding next week, and we have the closing ceremony, which will be done on the 15th of April, where we will discuss even more or share even more what we found or how we're willing to work with students and the Ministry of Education moving forward to continue to create an environment that will allow for students to be to have this type of experience, and work with them to incorporate it more into the education system of our country.
A total of 140 students participated in the competition, mainly from secondary schools. General Secretary of the ruling Unity Labour Party, Julian Francis, is encouraging party supporters to come out in large numbers for the party's 24th anniversary in government. The celebration rally is set for Sunday at Rabuka. Speaking on Star Radio's Morning Scoop program today, Francis said the celebration rally is expected to start at 4 p.m. and will feature a number of speakers along with an entertainment package that includes performances from 2 major regional artists.
The event on Sunday is going to see performances from Fireman, Blackadan, and the Great Sanchez. So it's going to be a big day. We are not going to, we'll try and make it that we don't go home too late. So we are hoping that we will start at around 4 and wrap it up by 10 o'clock. I don't think we should go later than 10 o'clock, so people can, start to leave after 10, just after 10 o'clock. So I just want to lend my voice to encourage the comrades island-wide to put aside this Sunday and let us celebrate the Unity Labour Party victory.
The Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, through the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Coast Guard Service, is actively conducting a search operation for a missing man following a marine incident on Thursday, March 27, 2025. A statement issued on the incident indicates that at approximately 4:26 p.m. on Thursday, the Coast Guard Service received a report of a missing person at sea. According to reports, the fishing vessel Galantine capsized in waters off Port Juvenet with 3 individuals on board: Justin Brooker, Kamara Phillips, and Prince Yearwood. Justin Brooker and Kamara Phillips were rescued safely. However, Prince Yearwood remains missing. The release states that Coast Guard personnel conducted an extensive search operation for Yearwood throughout the afternoon and evening hours of Thursday, but were unable to locate him. Search efforts resumed at first light today, Friday, March 28th, and are ongoing. The SVG Police Force and the SVG Coast Guard says they will provide further updates as more information becomes available. A closing ceremony for fisheries training under the UBEC-SUREC SVG Food Insecurity Project was held today at the Methodist Church Hall in Kingstown. Delivering the welcoming remarks, Chief Fisheries Officer Jennifer Cruikshank Howard said the occasion marks a significant milestone for the fisheries services and the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry, Fisheries, Rural Transformation, Industry and Labor. Cruikshank noted that 2 consultancy firms were tasked with executing the training activities, and they have done exemplary work with the local fisherfolk.
The Fisheries Services has recognized over the years the need for the training of fishers in order to improve your knowledge and skills for your development and understanding of the fishing industry. Under this project, training was provided in 4 areas. Safety at sea, as this was a prerequisite to other training such as the fish aggregating device, fishing techniques, that's FADS, fishing techniques on onboard, deck handling, the boat captaincy 3, that is boat master 3. We had our fishers trained to be captains. And the 4th one, fishing hygiene. These training activities were received by approximately 272 fisher folks, which were a combination of classroom and practical or hands-on training, which equipped you, the participants, with the necessary skills and techniques to enhance your capacities.
The Chief Fisheries Officer urged the fisherfolk to effectively utilize the items provided as part of the training packages to further improve food security in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Focal point for the UBEC-SIREC SVG Food and Security Project, Colville King, in his address at the closing ceremony, noted that SVG's food security was threatened by several issues, including the volcanic eruption, the COVID-19 pandemic, and as a result, the government sought and secured financing to ensure that the threat did not become a reality.
Since then, we've had Hurricane Beryl, and we do know that has created further impact, making the reality even more of a strategic matter. With regarding fisheries, so we did receive the project, and it addresses the issue of providing more fruits and vegetables, more eggs, more meat, more broiler meats, additional fish to the consumers of this country. And essentially this was a domestically focused project. And within that, as I mentioned, the issue was fish on the fishery side. And the strategic investment for this was investing in 15 FADs, fish aggregating devices, that should address the issue of making food and fish in particular more available to the consumers. We all know persons have been complaining about fish not being available, it's been expensive and all of that. And so investing in 15 FADs was a very important investment, a set of activities. And the people from Barley and from Clare Valley very well know the benefits of FADs. And so we set about investing, and 9 of those FADs have been deployed. Unfortunately, the weather has not permitted the deployment of an additional 3.
King also mentioned that FAD number 1, located off the coast of Byra, Georgetown, is already aggregating fish earlier than expected based on advice from technical experts.
Now, you may wonder, why am I speaking about FADs? Because the training received by fishers were all part of ensuring that we can utilize these FADs effectively, that they have the fishing methods, that they can fish effectively, that they do so safely, that they are covered. You know, we have invested in canopies, and that they can bring the fish in at a very high level of safety, a standard to the consumer. So investing in the canopy as mentioned, investing in trucks and ice tubs and those kind of things are all part of it. But critically, the issue of training was important. So we've invested over $5 million worth of monies, EC dollars, into FADs. And we've invested collectively about $1.6 million in training of fishers and processors. If you are to divide it, we've spent close to $10,000 per fisher. And I know you've benefited, fishers and processors. I know you've benefited a lot, but just to have a sense of what the value of that training is. As part of that too, we've provided safety grab bags so that persons who are going to sea, to fish, can do so in a safe manner. And hopefully the issue, that incident yesterday, drives home the point that we need to utilize these equipment that are being provided to you. If there was an EPIRB on that vessel, everybody would have known that there was a disaster at sea, and the triggers would have been pressed, and the Coast Guard would have been deployed in the vicinity of that.
The 2024 Regional Investment Competition prize-giving ceremony was held today, during which Adelphi Secondary School was recognized as the winner. The competition, organized by the Eastern Caribbean Securities Exchange, aims to raise awareness about investing in securities and wealth creation. It also seeks to educate youths about the process of purchasing and selling securities, while inspiring young leaders to become more active in investing. Deputy Chief Education Officer Joycelyn Blake Brown, who addressed the prize-giving ceremony, commended the Adelphi Secondary School on their victory and highlighted that this is another milestone for the school.
This is indeed a huge accomplishment, and let it not go unnoticed. I know you're celebrating today, but I hope you find some time at school to do a similar celebration, and it should last not just for one day, maybe months, weeks, maybe for the entire school year. A constant reminder to our students. And I know that the students have many benefits that can be redeemed from investing early. I know you have adequate technological skills and you can navigate the internet. You have that at your disposal.
Blake Brown emphasized that events like these teach students life skills and will have a great impact on their futures, skills they can later pass on to future generations.
Young people tend to be bold. That's what we say, not so? Bold. So I think you're prepared to take the risk as well, to invest. I think you, because of the platforms that you normally navigate, you have that competence. I think it will be linked nicely to what you do at school, to your curriculum. Some of you are maybe business students. Even if you're not business students, you're learning practical, lifelong skills that will last you for generations. And these I know you'll impart to your children in the future.
Blake Brown also encouraged the students to invest in themselves to ensure success in the future.
I want to also encourage you to invest in yourselves. Not just about investing for the sake of investing, but I want you to think about what you are gaining and will gain from your educational journey that you can invest in yourselves. You invest the time, efforts, energies. You have relationships. You invest in your relationships, in your friends, and I'm sure your future will even be brighter.